Kai Verdan had always been curious. Ever since he was a boy, growing up on Arendor 5, the mining colony on the edge of human space, he had a fascination with life forms, especially those not from Earth. While other kids dreamed of becoming miners, traders, or pilots, Kai spent his time exploring caves and forests, examining tiny creatures, plants, and minerals. His room was full of jars, specimens, and notebooks covered in sketches. Now, at 27, Kai was a junior scientist at the colony's research lab. He had earned a reputation for being careful, intelligent, and respectful to any life form he studied. While some scientists preferred fast results and often risked harming their subjects, Kai believed in observation, patience, and learning without causing harm. One bright morning, Kai received a message from the colony administration. Unusual readings detected near asteroid field Zeta 9. It read. The message was short, almost cryptic. But the lab's sensors had detected rapid movement, something that could be living and moving through the rocks. Kai's heart raced. A new discovery. Perhaps an unknown life form had come to Arendor 5, or maybe something even stranger from another system. Without hesitation, he packed his exploration kit, containment nets, scanners, and first aid tools. He double-checked everything, making sure all equipment was non-lethal. By mid-morning, Kai was navigating the asteroid field in his small research shuttle. The field was dangerous. Jagged rocks floated silently in space, some as large as small buildings, but Kai loved it, the thrill, the unknown. He carefully maneuvered, following the readings from his sensors. Suddenly his instruments beeped wildly. Movement detected, he muttered, gripping the controls. Through the viewport, he saw a flash of light, almost like a shimmer, moving between rocks. Kai leaned forward, eyes wide. It wasn't a reflection, or a trick of the sensors. Something or someone was hiding. Kai activated the containment net launcher, designed for capturing small alien life without harming it. The shimmering figure darted, but Kai's aim was precise. Within moments, the net wrapped around the creature, holding it safely. Kai exhaled. Got you, he said softly. The creature squirmed inside the net. Through the thin material, Kai saw her clearly for the first time. She was humanoid but unlike anything he had ever seen. Her skin was translucent, with faint blue patterns that glowed softly. Her eyes were large, golden, and intelligent. She had long, delicate limbs and a slender build. Her expression was wary, fearful, and sharp. Kai carefully opened the shuttle's side hatch and brought her inside. Don't worry, he said. I won't hurt you. His voice was calm, even gentle. She froze. Human? She whispered, her voice melodic but tense. Her words were hesitant, cautious, as if she expected a threat at any moment. Kai shook his head. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm Kai Verdan, a scientist. I study life forms. Her glowing patterns flickered. A scientist, she repeated, doubt in her voice. You will experiment on me? Kai held his hands up. No. I promise. I just want to help. You're hurt, she pulled back instinctively. I cannot trust humans. Kai noticed the faint scratches and bruises on her arms. You've been running, he said softly. You need medical attention. Just let me help. She hesitated, her eyes scanning the shuttle as if weighing a decision. Finally, she nodded slightly. I do not want pain, she said. Kai could see she was trembling not just from fear, but from exhaustion. Kai activated the medkit and prepared a healing gel designed for delicate tissue. He carefully applied it to the scratches, trying to avoid startling her. She flinched slightly at first, then relaxed when she realized he wasn't harming her. Thank you, she whispered, almost inaudibly. Her voice carried a mixture of relief and lingering fear. Kai smiled faintly. You're welcome. I'm not here to hurt you. You're safe here. For now. The shuttle floated in silence for a moment. Kai studied her, trying to learn more about her without being intrusive. He noticed subtle signs. Her glowing patterns pulsed faster when she was nervous. Her breathing was shallow, and her movements were cautious, ready to flee if needed. She was alert, intelligent, and clearly had survived in dangerous situations before. "What is your name?" Kai asked gently. She hesitated, then said, "Lyra." "Lyra," he repeated. "It's nice to meet you. I know this is strange, but I'm not your enemy." Lyra's golden eyes flickered. "Enemies? They come. They will find me. They will take me back. They will take me back." Kai frowned. "Who will take you back? What's happening?" Lyra looked away, her glowing patterns dimming slightly. "I fled. I am a fugitive. They want knowledge I carry. I cannot allow it." Kai's mind raced. Fugitives were rare in space, and alien law enforcement was even more complicated. But one thing was clear. Lyra had reason to fear capture. She was intelligent, cautious, and clearly knew how to survive. "Okay," Kai said slowly. "I won't let them take you. I'll protect you. But I need you to trust me a little." Lyra's eyes narrowed, unsure. "Trust? Dangerous. Humans. Dangerous." Kai shook his head. "Not all humans. Some of us care about life. I care about yours." She studied him for a long moment. Then, finally, she nodded slightly. "I will allow healing. Only this. Then, I decide." Kai respected her choice. He finished tending her wounds, and then helped her settle into a small containment room inside the shuttle, comfortable but secure. He ensured she had food and water, though he had no idea what she could eat. Miraculously, she seemed to eat the nutrient gel without complaint. As the shuttle drifted toward the colony, Kai looked at her thoughtfully. She was wary, intelligent, and mysterious, a fugitive with unknown powers. Yet, he felt a strange sense of connection. Somehow, they had both entered a situation neither expected. But the universe was not quiet. The colony's sensors had already detected the life form in the shuttle. Lights blinked. Alarms were ready to sound. And other humans might arrive before Kai had a chance to explain. He realized he had to act carefully. He could not reveal Lyra to authorities. She would be captured, and her fate was uncertain. Lyra watched him quietly. "You, humans, sometimes good?" she asked, curiosity creeping into her tone. Kai smiled. "Yes, sometimes good, and I hope you'll see that soon." For now, Kai and Lyra sat in silence. Two beings from different worlds, learning to coexist. One had survived the harshness of alien pursuers. The other had dedicated his life to study and care. Both had fears, both had knowledge, and both had the chance to learn from each other. As Arendor 5 grew closer on the shuttle's radar, Kai felt a mixture of excitement and concern. This accidental capture could change both of their lives forever. But he believed in one thing: intelligence, empathy, and courage were more powerful than fear, and in the coming days, he would have to prove it not just to Lyra, but to the galaxy itself. Lyra, still wary, felt something new as she observed him. Perhaps humans could be more than hunters, more than threats. Perhaps there was hope, but she could not be sure yet. Trust was a fragile thing, and the universe was vast and dangerous. For now, they both waited, the shuttle gliding silently toward the colony, carrying an alien fugitive and the human who had unexpectedly become her protector. Neither knew what awaited them, but both felt a spark of something that could change everything. And so began their journey, one that would test courage, intelligence, and the very meaning of trust in a universe full of unknowns. The shuttle landed softly on the outskirts of Arendor 5's research station. Kai guided Lyra carefully down the ramp. Despite the colony's usual bustle, the landing area was quiet that day, giving them a chance to move without immediate attention. Lyra's golden eyes scanned every corner, every shadow, as though danger could spring from anywhere. Kai noticed her tension and slowed his steps. "You don't have to rush," he said gently. "We'll take it slow. Nobody will hurt you here." Lyra's patterns flickered softly, like faint lightning under her translucent skin. She gave a small nod. "I trust. Little. Not much," she said, her voice cautious. Kai smiled, understanding her limits. "That's fine. Trust is earned, not given. We'll start small." He led her to a secluded lab in the station's research wing. It was quiet, clean, and filled with instruments and specimens. Kai had spent years organizing the lab to be safe for both humans and alien life forms. Lyra's curiosity flickered. Though she did not speak, she observed the equipment, the jars of tiny creatures, and the careful way Kai moved. Kai set up a small containment area just for Lyra. Not a cage, but a comfortable space with soft padding, adjustable lighting, and a small area to exercise. He wanted her to feel secure, not trapped. "You can stay here while you heal," he said. "You're safe. Nobody will enter without your permission." Lyra looked around cautiously. "Safe? Yes. But humans experiment. They often use pain to learn." Kai shook his head. "Not me. I study life. But I don't harm it. I observe. I learn. I respect. You don't need to fear me." Her glowing patterns dimmed for a moment, then brightened slowly. "Respect. You. Different." Kai nodded. "Different can be good." He offered her a small tray with nutrient gel, water, and a fruit-like substance from the colony's hydroponic gardens. Lyra studied it with suspicion but eventually tasted it. Her reaction was cautious, then approving. She had survived in harsh conditions, so her ability to trust food from another species was significant. Over the next hours, Kai tried to understand Lyra's abilities. "You can move energy, right?" he asked carefully. "I sensed something unusual when I first captured you." Lyra's eyes narrowed. "I control fields around me. Small, to protect myself. Dangerous, if used carelessly." Kai leaned closer, careful not to alarm her. "I don't need to see it in action now. Just understanding is enough. We'll take it slow. No pressure." Lyra relaxed slightly. "You, humans, often rush. You can wait." Perhaps trust grows. As evening fell, the lab lights dimmed. Kai adjusted the lighting to be soft, creating a calm atmosphere. Lyra sat quietly, watching him organize samples and instruments. She seemed to study his every movement, curious but cautious. Kai noticed the subtle tension in her posture. "You've been running for a long time," he said softly. "I can tell by the way you move, the way you watch." Lyra's patterns flickered in acknowledgement. "Many systems, many authorities. I hunted. I alone." Her voice carried the weight of loneliness and fear. "Trust. Difficult. Humans. Often." She hesitated. "Dangerous." Kai nodded. "I understand. But some humans are different. I want to show you that." For the next few days, Kai and Lyra developed a routine. Kai prepared her meals, monitored her health, and allowed her space to exercise and rest. Lyra, in turn, began to respond to him not with full trust, but with cautious curiosity. She would follow him when he moved about the lab, silently observing, sometimes offering small gestures of communication. Kai introduced her to a translation device, a small earpiece that allowed her to speak, and Kai could understand her words clearly. For Lyra, this was revolutionary. She had been running alone for so long, constantly misunderstood or feared. Now, someone not only listened, but understood. One afternoon, Kai asked, "Can you tell me why you were running?" "Only if you feel safe." Lyra hesitated, then nodded. "I took knowledge. My species? My leaders? They wanted to use it for war. I could not allow. I fled. They hunt me. They dangerous. Kai frowned. I see. You did the right thing, escaping. But now, you're safe here. I won't let anyone hurt you. Her glowing patterns dimmed slightly. Safe. Yes. But others will come, Kai thought for a moment. Then we prepare. But we won't fight recklessly. We'll use intelligence and clever ideas. That's what humans do best. Lyra tilted her head, curious. Kai smiled. Yes. Not always strong, not always fast, but we solve problems. Carefully, thoughtfully, and we protect what is right. Over time, Lyra began to show small signs of trust. She allowed Kai to monitor her health more closely. She even responded to gentle questions about her abilities. I can manipulate energy. To shield. To protect. Not to harm. She explained. Kai nodded. That's amazing. And you'll help me understand it safely. Only if you want. No pressure. Lyra's eyes flickered. You, humans, respect life. Different. Kai's heart warmed. He realized that, in this moment, the bridge between human and alien was forming. Two very different species, learning to trust each other. One morning, Kai decided to take a small risk. He invited Lyra to explore the garden in the lab's hydroponic section. It was safe, enclosed, and full of plants and small creatures. Lyra moved cautiously, her patterns pulsing softly. She studied the plants, touching leaves lightly, curious about Earth-like life. Kai watched, smiling. See? You're safe, and you can explore without fear. Lyra's patterns brightened. Curious. Earth. Life. Strange. Good. Kai laughed softly. It is. There's a lot to learn from each other, but danger was never far. Sensors detected unusual energy signals near the colony. Kai realized that whoever was pursuing Lyra might be tracking her across space. Lyra, he said gently. We may not be alone. Others could be coming. Her patterns dimmed, and she tensed. I feared this. They. Relentless. Always. Kai placed a hand on her shoulder carefully. Then we prepare. But we won't panic. We'll use our heads. We'll stay one step ahead. You'll see humans can be clever, not just dangerous. Over the next few days, Kai and Lyra practiced small defensive strategies. He showed her ways to use her energy fields safely for protection rather than attack. She observed, learning his methods, but still cautious. They explored together, avoiding sensors, and using clever tricks to hide her presence. During these exercises, Lyra began to laugh quietly at some of Kai's clever inventions like tiny holographic decoys or automated noisemakers designed to confuse trackers. It was the first sound of lightness since she had arrived. Kai noticed it too. That's a good laugh, he said, smiling. It means we're making progress. Lyra's patterns flickered brighter. Perhaps humans, not all dangerous. Perhaps some good. Kai felt a deep sense of satisfaction. This small trust was a victory, but he knew it was only the beginning. The universe was large. Lyra's pursuers were relentless, and he had much to learn about protecting her. As the sun set over Arendor 5, painting the sky with shades of red and orange, Kai and Lyra sat quietly in the lab garden. Lyra's patterns glowed softly in the fading light. She looked at Kai, her expression unreadable but calmer than before. You help me, she said simply. Kai nodded. Yes, and we'll figure this out together. You're not alone anymore. For the first time in a long while, Lyra felt a small spark of hope. Maybe humans could be more than hunters. More than threats. Maybe there was a chance for cooperation, for understanding, for friendship. Kai watched the stars rise in the sky above Arendor 5 and felt a mix of excitement and responsibility. He had taken a risk, capturing an alien fugitive. But now he understood something important. The universe was full of life, danger, and wonder, and humans could make a difference, not just with technology or strength, but with intelligence, courage, and empathy. As night settled over the colony, Kai and Lyra sat together, two beings from different worlds, learning to trust each other. Their journey had only begun, and already they were facing challenges that would test their courage, intelligence, and moral strength. But Kai believed in one thing. When humans act with respect and heart, they can face anything, even the vast unknown of space. And Lyra, for the first time in a long time, felt that perhaps she could survive, not just with cunning or speed, but with friendship and trust. The quiet of Arendor 5's research station was shattered one morning by a series of high-pitched alarms. Kai looked up from his workbench, concern flashing across his face. "Lyra," he said. "Something's coming. I think they found us." Lyra stiffened, her glowing patterns flickering rapidly. "They. Relentless. They. Always come. We must. Hide." Kai nodded. "Yes. But we'll use our brains. Not just hide. Humans have a talent for that." He quickly guided Lyra to a hidden section of the station, a network of maintenance tunnels few humans ever entered. "These tunnels twist and turn," he explained. "They can confuse anyone unfamiliar with the station layout. We can stay ahead of them if we move carefully." Lyra moved cautiously beside him, watching every shadow. "You. Clever," she said. "Humans, sometimes not just strong, but clever." Kai smiled faintly. "We have to be. Intelligence is often more powerful than force." They navigated the narrow corridors, Kai showing Lyra small tricks like using mirrors and sensors to detect approaching footsteps, and creating sound diversions with small drones he had built. Lyra's eyes widened as she watched the drones move silently ahead, mimicking their movements to confuse any intruders. "You, humans, resourceful," she murmured. "I did not expect." Kai nodded. "And you're learning fast, too. Your abilities are incredible, but we have to use them wisely." As they moved deeper into the tunnels, Kai noticed the faint vibration of energy fields outside the pursuers were close. He crouched beside Lyra. "Okay, we need a plan. We won't fight them directly. We'll use traps and misdirection. We can protect ourselves without harming them." Lyra's patterns flickered with concentration. "I can create shields, confuse sensors, but I cannot fight many." Kai placed a hand on her shoulder. "You won't have to. We'll combine our skills. You protect, and together we outsmart them." The pursuers arrived in the station moments later, moving with disciplined precision. Their suits were sleek, alien, and armed with scanning devices. They moved methodically, searching for Lyra, unaware that she was already 2 steps ahead. Kai activated a small drone that projected a holographic image of the tunnels, creating false paths. The intruders followed the wrong path, and Kai whispered to Lyra, "Now." Lyra focused, her energy fields expanding subtly to interfere with the pursuers' sensors. Their scanners flickered, showing ghost images and distorted readings. The aliens stumbled, confused, while Kai guided Lyra silently through a side passage. "Clever, humans," one pursuer muttered to another. "The fugitive is elusive." Kai smiled quietly. "Clever. Yes. But also kind," he thought. Kindness and intelligence together, more powerful than fear. They reached a small chamber in the tunnels, a space filled with pipes and conduits. Kai used the environment to his advantage, setting up small tripwires and noisemakers. Lyra followed his instructions, her glowing patterns pulsing in concentration. When the pursuers finally approached, they triggered the traps. Loud sounds echoed through the tunnels, lights flashed, and holographic images projected multiple copies of Lyra. Confused, The intruders hesitated, giving Kai and Lyra enough time to escape further into the labyrinth. Lyra exhaled, her patterns dimming with relief. Humans. Sometimes. Surprising, Kai nodded. And so are you. You've done amazing. Together, we're stronger than either of us alone. They paused in a small room to catch their breath. Lyra turned to Kai, her golden eyes reflecting gratitude and cautious trust. You protect me. You care. I did not think humans capable, Kai smiled. Some of us are. I believe in learning, in helping, in respecting life. That's what matters. Over the next few hours, they moved carefully, using every trick, every passage, and every clever device Kai could think of. Lyra's abilities helped them avoid direct confrontation. But it was Kai's intelligence, planning, and calmness that kept them ahead of the pursuers. During a quiet moment, Kai asked, Lyra, can you tell me more about what you can do? Only if you want. Lyra hesitated, then nodded. I can manipulate energy fields. To shield. To redirect. Small bursts. To confuse. Not to harm. Dangerous if misused. Kai listened carefully. That's incredible. And we'll use it carefully. Together, we can stay safe and outsmart anyone who comes after you. As night fell in the tunnels, the pair found a small, hidden chamber with enough space to rest. Kai prepared a simple meal for them, sharing nutrient gel and fruits. Lyra accepted it quietly, a sign that her trust was growing. You, humans, not all dangerous, she said, her glowing patterns softening. Some good, perhaps clever, perhaps protect. Kai nodded. Yes. And that's how we survive in the universe, not just with weapons, but with intelligence and empathy. They rested, listening to the distant hum of the station. Kai reviewed his plans, thinking of ways to protect Lyra, while still finding a solution to stop the pursuers permanently. Lyra watched him quietly, realizing that humans could be more than hunters. They could be allies, protectors, and even friends. The next day, Kai led Lyra to a small observation point overlooking the station's lower levels. We need to be ready, he said. They'll come again, but this time, we'll be smarter. We'll anticipate them. Lyra studied the view, her patterns flickering in thought. I trust. Small, but trust. Kai smiled. Small trust is the beginning. Step by step, we'll grow it. And together, we can face anything. As the pursuers approached again, Kai activated a combination of holographic decoys and subtle energy interference. Lyra expanded her shields to confuse their sensors further. The pursuers moved cautiously, unable to determine where the real Lyra was located. Kai whispered, Now, follow me. They slipped through a hidden maintenance hatch, avoiding detection entirely. The pursuers, frustrated and confused, could not follow. Once safely away, Kai and Lyra found a temporary refuge in a long-abandoned observation deck. They looked out at the stars, breathing heavily but alive. You, humans, sometimes capable of great things, Lyra said quietly, her glow soft and steady now. I thought all humans dangerous. But you different. You protect, not harm. Kai shook his head. I'm just one person. But if more humans act with intelligence, courage, and kindness, we can protect others, not just ourselves. That's the true strength of our species. Lyra's patterns brightened slightly. Perhaps I see now. Humans can good, clever, protectors, not just hunters. Kai smiled. Yes. And now you see it too. Together, we can face anything, even the most relentless pursuers. They spent the night preparing strategies for any future threats, combining Kai's intelligence with Lyra's unique abilities. For the first time, she felt a sense of hope, not just survival, but the possibility of cooperation, understanding, and trust between species. As dawn broke over Arendor 5, Kai and Lyra looked at the horizon, knowing that challenges lay ahead, but they also knew that together, with courage, intelligence, and empathy, they could overcome them. And so, in the tunnels beneath the colony, a human and an alien fugitive formed a bond that neither had expected, a partnership built on respect, trust, and the belief that intelligence and heart could triumph over fear and danger. Kai and Lyra had survived the initial chase, but they both knew it wasn't over. The energy signatures of the pursuers were still close, and the alien authorities would not give up easily. Yet, for the first time since Lyra had fled her own planet, she felt a glimmer of hope. Humans, she realized, were capable of more than she had imagined. They could think, protect, and even care. Kai had spent the night planning. He studied maps of the colony and the surrounding asteroid fields, calculating escape routes and safe hiding spots. But then he had an idea. A better plan than running forever. Lyra, he said as they moved to a hidden observation deck. We can't just hide. They'll keep coming. But maybe we can show them that you're not a threat, that your abilities are for protection, not harm. Lyra tilted her head, her glowing patterns flickering in surprise. Show them? Dangerous, if they do not believe. Kai smiled. Yes, dangerous if not careful. But if we prepare, if we show them clearly, we can change their minds. You don't have to fight. We just have to explain, demonstrate, and be honest. She considered this. Humans, strategy, clever. Perhaps we try. Kai nodded. We'll do it together. Intelligence and heart. That's the human way. They spent the morning preparing. Kai set up a small demonstration area in an empty hangar. He arranged devices that could safely show Lyra's energy-manipulating abilities without harming anyone. Lyra practiced, creating shimmering fields, redirecting harmless energy pulses, and forming glowing protective barriers. She moved with precision, and Kai guided her to remain calm and confident. Finally, the pursuers arrived again. But this time, Kai did not hide. He stepped forward, placing himself between Lyra and the approaching aliens. Stop, he called, his voice firm. We want to show you something. No tricks, no harm, just understanding. The lead pursuer paused, scanning the area. Fugitive detected. Approach with caution. Kai gestured toward Lyra. She's not dangerous. She wants peace. We can demonstrate that. Lyra stepped forward, nervous but trusting Kai. Her patterns glowed brightly as she created a shimmering energy field around herself. She guided pulses of energy harmlessly through small devices Kai had set up, demonstrating control, precision, and care. The pursuers observed cautiously, their scanning instruments detecting no threat. Kai explained every step. She can protect herself, redirect energy, and defend without hurting others. Her abilities are incredible, but they are peaceful when used responsibly. Lyra's patterns flickered as she repeated the demonstration, showing them how she could form barriers, isolate harmful energy, and manipulate fields for protection. The aliens' expressions softened as they realized she was not a weapon, but a being capable of intelligence and morality. The lead pursuer stepped closer, observing her carefully. We underestimated this, not weapon, but potential, peaceful. She shows restraint. Kai nodded. Exactly. And humans can act the same way. We value life, knowledge, and protection. That's why I helped her. Lyra's eyes flickered with relief. She had feared capture, punishment, and forced experimentation. Now, she saw that Kai's humanity, intelligence, and courage had changed everything. She no longer felt hunted. She felt understood. The lead pursuer spoke to the others. She may remain free. Observation required. Cooperation possible. Kai exhaled softly, a smile spreading across his face. Thank you. That's all we ask. Understanding, not fear. Lyra looked at Kai, her patterns glowing warmly. Humans, sometimes, protect, sometimes, care. I trust you. Kai placed a hand gently on her shoulder. And I trust you too. Together, we can learn from each other, help each other, and survive in this universe. Over the next few days, Lyra worked with the alien authorities, showing her abilities and demonstrating her intentions. Kai stayed by her side, guiding and supporting her, answering questions, and helping her communicate clearly. The authorities, impressed by both Lyra's skills and Kai's honesty, allowed her to remain free. They recognized that humans could be trustworthy allies, not just unknown threats. For Lyra, it was a revelation. She had fled her own species out of fear, expecting humans to be cruel. Yet, she discovered that humanity could act with intelligence, morality, and empathy. She realized that cooperation and understanding could achieve far more than running or hiding. Kai, too, learned from the experience. He saw firsthand the value of trust, courage, and moral responsibility. Humans were capable of extraordinary heroism, not through brute force, but through intelligence, respect, and care for life. He understood that the galaxy was full of unknowns, but that human ingenuity and empathy could make a difference. As the sun rose over Arendor 5, painting the sky with gold and crimson, Kai and Lyra stood on the observation deck, looking at the stars. The galaxy stretched endlessly before them, full of mysteries, dangers, and possibilities. You, humans, clever, and good, Lyra said softly, her patterns pulsing with calm confidence. I understand now. Not all. Dangerous. Some protect. Some care. Perhaps friends. Kai smiled. Yes, and that's the beginning. Humans, aliens, different worlds, different abilities. But we can work together. We can protect life, learn from each other, and explore the universe safely. Lyra's glow brightened as she absorbed the meaning of his words. She felt a sense of freedom she hadn't experienced in years, not just physical freedom, but freedom to trust, to connect, and to hope. Over the next weeks, Kai and Lyra continued to work together. She learned more about human culture, technology, and science, while Kai studied her unique abilities in ways that respected her autonomy. They explored new areas of the colony, collected samples, and even devised new methods for observing the stars safely. Their friendship grew, built on trust, respect, and shared curiosity. Lyra began to smile more, laugh softly, and show her glowing patterns in subtle expressions of joy. Kai, in turn, felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He had helped save a life, learned from another species, and proven that humans could be protectors, not just conquerors. One evening, while watching a meteor shower from the observation deck, Lyra spoke quietly. Kai, I thank you for protection, for trust, for showing humans can be good. Kai nodded, feeling a warmth in his chest. It's what humans can be, Lyra. We can be brave, clever, and kind. And now, you've seen it for yourself. That's the real strength of our species. Lyra's patterns pulsed softly, a sign of her inner calm and trust. Perhaps we can explore together, learn, protect, understand. Different worlds, not enemies. Friends. Kai smiled broadly, Yes, friends. And who knows what we might discover together in this galaxy. There's so much to learn, so much to see. And we'll do it with respect, curiosity, and courage. The two of them stood in silence, gazing at the stars. They had survived danger, evaded pursuers, and learned to trust one another. They had discovered that intelligence, empathy, and moral courage could overcome fear and violence. And most importantly, they had found that the universe was not just a place of danger, it was a place of wonder, friendship, and hope. As night fully fell, the stars above Arendor 5 sparkled like diamonds in the black sky. Kai and Lyra felt a sense of peace, knowing that they had changed the course of events, not through force, but through courage, cleverness, and care. And in that quiet moment, they both understood a simple truth. Humans were capable of greatness, not because of strength or weapons, but because of their ability to think, to care, and to protect. And sometimes, the greatest discoveries were not about new planets or new species, but about the courage, trust, and heart that existed within themselves. For Kai and Lyra, the future was full of possibilities. Together, they could explore, learn, and protect life wherever they went. Together, they could show the galaxy that intelligence, empathy, and moral courage were the true measure of strength. And so, their journey continued, not just as human and alien, scientist and fugitive, but as allies and friends. They had faced danger, uncertainty, and fear, and emerged stronger, wiser, and more hopeful than ever before. The universe was vast, the stars endless, and the adventures ahead limitless. But Kai and Lyra were ready. Together, they would meet the challenges, learn from the unknown, and prove that cooperation, understanding, and the courage to do what is right could change even the course of galaxies.